everybody. This is a session about natural science. Unit 4 is the end of the unit and the summary so that you can have the whole session together. Okay, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to go to page 57, and we are going to see that we have different plants and different animals. We are going to take color green and underline all the plants. Let's see all the plants. Bamboo is a plant. Orchid is a plant. Cactus. Palm tree. Algae. And that's it. And now we go to color red and we circle the animals. We have the macaw, the jaguar, eagle, deer, groundhog, camel, lizard, dolphin, and parrotfish. And now we are going to match the boxes to the ecosystems. So each box is going to belong to an ecosystem. So do these animals and plants live in the rainforest, in the ocean, in the desert, or in the mountain? Let's go from the super easy to the difficult. Let's take another color, black, and we are going to do super easy, I think, is the ocean. So if we have ocean, we would put this one, algae, dolphin, and parrotfish. What about the desert? The desert is also very easy. The camel, the cactus, the lizard, and the palm tree belong to the desert. Then we have from the rainforest, bamboo, orchid, macaw, and jaguar. And from the mountain, the eagle, the deer, and the groundhog. And this will be the activity. Find and write the words. Okay, we have to look at these pictures and say which of the animals and plants from the picture are going to be in this activity. A mammal that lives in the desert. What do we have from the desert? We have few things. From the desert, we only have a camel and a lizard. Is a lizard a mammal? No, so it has to be the camel. A fish that lives in the ocean. Let's go to the picture of the ocean. And we have a parrotfish because the dolphin is not a fish, it's a mammal. So here we write parrotfish. Let's go to the number 3. It's a reptile that lives in the desert. Let's go to the desert and we have the lizard. What do we have to copy? Lizard. We copy lizard here. It's a bird that lives in the mountains. Let's go to the mountains and we have an eagle. So we take the eagle and we write here. Nanana is a plant that grows in the rainforest. We go to the rainforest and we have, it says a plant. We could say bamboo or orchid, any of those, and you write here, okay? Let's go to page 58. This is a little bit of revision. In the desert, it's always very cold. There isn't a lot of rain, but there are small plants. This is wrong, but there are small plants. Which one is it? The desert or Antarctica? I think it's Antarctica because it's always very cold, always. In the desert, it's not always very cold. Let's see how living organisms adapt to their ecosystem. What is to adapt to the ecosystem? It means that living organisms develop different parts of the body or different strategies to live in a place. For example, if you live in Tres Cantos in winter, you have to wear lots of winter clothes, a hat, a scarf, a coat. That's a way to adapt to the ecosystem. Okay, but animals are going to have other adaptations. Listen.
Living organisms adapt to their ecosystems.
Let's see how they adapt to the desert.
Deserts. The plants and animals need very little water.
If you are a plant or an animal who lives in the desert, you are going to need very little water. Can you survive in the desert if you need a lot of water? No. So that's why the animals and plants that you will see, you will find in the desert will need very little water.
They can survive in extreme temperatures.
And can survive when it's very hot and when it's very cold. So they are very resistant.
Oceans. The animals have fins for swimming, and the plants can survive in salt water.
Okay. The animals have fins, even if they are mammals. They have fins. If they are fish, they have fins. And they can survive in salt water because the water in the ocean is salty. What about mountains?
Mountains. Many of the animals have thick fur.
The first thing, you need a very, very good coat. So what are you going to have? A very thick fur. Very thick fur. No 2 or 3 hairs. No, a very thick fur.
The plants are small and can survive in the cold, windy climate.
Why do you think that the plants are small or short? Because it's very windy in the mountains. If you are very tall, you would break. So that's why plants are small. Let's go to the rainforest.
Rainforests. Some animals use camouflage to look invisible.
Some animals use camouflage. Why? Because there are many, many other animals looking for food. So if you live in the rainforest, it's a fantastic place, but it's very, very dangerous.
The plants on the ground don't need a lot of sunlight.
The plants that are at the bottom don't need lots of sunlight. Why? Because they are going to be covered by many other plants. Okay? So those are ways to adapt to an ecosystem. What is special about desert plants? They need little water. What is special about aquatic plants? That they can survive with a lot of water. Why do mountain animals have thick fur? Because it's very cold in winter. And this is the summary or revision that you have to do with me. Let's take a pen.
Listen and number the photos. Find a fish. Write number 1.
Okay, let's find a fish. Is this a fish? No, this is a mammal, a reptile, a mammal, a bird, an amphibian, and a fish. So this would be number 1. Let's go to the second one.
Find a mammal that lives in the water. Right number 2.
A mammal that lives in the water has to be the dolphin. Number 2. Number 3.
Find a reptile. Right number 3.
If it says find a reptile, it's because there's only one. Is this a reptile? No, it's a mammal. Is this a reptile? Yes. The crocodile will be number 3.
Find an amphibian. Right number 4.
The amphibian that lives in water and on land has a soft, smooth skin. It's going to be number 4. And breathe, and has to breathe with their lungs and their skin.
Find a mammal that lives in the desert.
A mammal that lives in the desert. A camel. What number do we have to write?
Right number 5.
5. And number 6 is going to be a bird. Very good.
Find a bird that lives near water. Right number 6.
A bird that lives near water. Classify the information. Write A for amphibians, R for reptiles, or A, R for amphibians and reptiles. Let's see. They are oviparous. Amphibians and reptiles. They lay eggs in the water. Amphibians. They lay eggs on land. Reptiles. They have dry scales. Reptiles. Remember that amphibians have a smooth, wet skin. They have damp. Damp is humid or wet. Damp skin, amphibians. They breathe only with lungs. Reptiles, only with lungs. They are usually carnivores. Both of them, amphibian and reptiles. They breathe with lungs, through gills, and through their skin. Amphibians. Through gills when they are babies, and with lungs and through their skin when they are adults. And now here we have to write. The frog is an amphibian and the crocodile is a reptile. Okay? Use the words in the box to write titles for the photos. We have adaptation, camouflage, ecosystem, and producers. What do you think is going to be this one? This picture is very clear camouflage. Camouflage. I'm going to put a C because it's very difficult to write all the words. It's a chameleon, and it's camouflaging. What about the cacti? The cacti. That's adaptation, because they have to adapt to a very, very difficult ecosystem, which is the desert. Which one is producer? Producers are the plants. Remember that they produce their own food and they produce also oxygen. They make their own food. And the last one, which could be an ecosystem. Which ecosystem is that? That's a river. That would be ecosystem. Okay. Complete the outline using the words in the box. I'm going to do it and then I show you the answer. Oviparous animals, important. Reptiles, amphibians and fish. Live on land or in water, which live on land or in water. reptiles because they have dry scales or a shell and they breathe with lungs. Oviparous animals, they live in water and on land. Amphibian, they have a wet skin and they breathe with gills, lungs, and through their skin. You have all the words here, so you just have to put them. I'm going to put numbers. Oviparous animals, the last one is the fish. They live in water. They have fins and scales, so they have gills and scales, but you don't have gills. Oh yes, you have gills. They breathe with gills. Yes, because gills is for this one. Okay, let's write the numbers. Amphibians, number 1, fins, number 2, fish, number 3. You have to write the word, okay? I write the number because it's easier. Gills, number 4, lungs, number 5, reptiles, number 6, scales, number 7, skin, number 8, and wet, number 9. So let's go. If they live on land or in water, have dry scales, 7, or a shell, and they breathe with lungs, number 5, they have to be reptiles. So we take reptiles, number 6. Okay, the second one, they live in water and on land. That's super easy. That's amphibians. Have and breathe with gills, lungs, and through their skin. So here is skin for sure, which is number 8. And what do they have? You can say they have a smooth skin, they have a wet skin. Let me see what we have here. We have wet skin. And then they live in water, has to be fish. 3. They have scales and they breathe with gills. Number 4. And they have, what do they have on scales? They have fins. Number 2. They have fins and scales. That will be the end of the unit. Unit 4 is finished. Bye bye.